Howdy, Beeflowbart here, and welcome. Alright, in this video, since I have already done the review on this, I'm going to take the FPS game starter kit, and I'm going to create a new project with it, and I'm going to start making it into my own game. And just wanted to showcase how you can actually take this kit and go ahead and make your own game. Now, when you hit Create Project, you have the option to select where you want it to go, which is cool, but you also can go ahead and change the name. And I am going to call this, I don't know, Beefalo, whatever, Beefalopia SP for a single player. And we're going to create a single player game, and go ahead and hit create. It'll take a couple seconds. It will make the project for you. And there we have Beefalopia single player. And then just double click on it. Launches into the game or into the editor. And it'll take a couple seconds to get booted in. And once you're there, then we can start taking a look around. Now I've already looked at it and I've already messed around with it a little bit. So I have a little bit of heads up of what's going on. But as soon as it goes in, I want to start looking at some of the little things. We know that it has an inventory system we can work with, a menu system, and a save game, and so forth. But we want to start making it our own and start off with, well, we're going to create our own map to begin with. Now, the first thing I want to do is I want to start preparing the folder structure, because you've got the FPS game folder. First thing I want to do is I want to click right here so I can show the resource panel, and then in the content I'm going to go ahead and create a new folder, and I'm going to call this assets. Now inside here I'm going to go ahead and use this as a location for all of my files that I create, and unless I'm modifying them, if I create new ones, I'm going to put them in there. That way I know where they are. The next thing I want to take a look at is, well, I'm going to go ahead and go to the Maps folder, go to Main Menu, and then I'm going to select the arrow next to the play button, and I'm going to do this in a standalone game. And hopefully OBS will show this correctly. So I'm going to let it load up for the first time, and I am going to see what the menu looks like from start to going into the game. So with this, we have a background here. It says version 1.1, FPS starter kit. We have play and exit. We hit play, create new, and there we go. We're now into the map. We can go ahead and I'm going to grab all the weapons, grab all the monies, and we're going to do a little bit just to there we go. Okay, good enough, and I'm going to go ahead and reload. Head back in, go to the save station, save and exit. Now I'm going to go back into play again, and now we have the option, no new button, we have load. I'm assuming the delete key would be to actually delete what was already there. So let's look at our inventory. We have 44, we have all 4 weapons. Alright, cool. We hit escape, we got resume and save and quit. So now we have an idea of what the game actually looks like. Save and quit, and exit. Okay, so to make this our own, we're going to have to start doing some things with the UI to kind of prettify it a little bit. We've got the 3 images for the weapons, crosshair, background, and 2 scopes. Background. Okay, that's interesting. In the UI, the main menu, let's actually look at that widget and see how it looks. So this is what we got here. The version 1.1, well, we want to change that because we're not on 1.1. We're on 0.1. This is our first new one. And then FPS Starter Kit, let's go ahead and, well, let's change the name. I'm going to go ahead and make this a little bit larger as I need to. Beefalopia. And let's go ahead and move this over. It's a little on the big side, so we can look at our font. It's at 128. Let's bring it down to 80. Drag it back over here. Looks about right. And we don't want to say starter kit. We want to say single player. And I'll go ahead and just drag that over here. That's good enough for now. In here, the button set with a spacer in between your text, vertical box. It's anchored. Let's change the anchor to top left, and just because I want to be different, I'm going to move it up here, and I'm going to resize it just a little bit. Now we'll do some more cosmetic changes to it later, but the spacer here, its size is set to 60. Let's change that to, let's try 20. That looks good. And then now we're going to want to add more features in eventually. So in this vertical box, we can, now it's set to fill, and that'll change the size of the buttons back and forth. I'm going to go ahead and we have the play button right here. I'm just going to actually grab the spacer first, and I'm going to right click on it and copy that. Click back on vertical box and paste. So now we've added another spacer in. And grab the play button. I'm going to copy that. Click back on the vertical box, and I'm going to paste again. And now we've added another button in. We're going to change play. When actually we want to call this options. And for now, we want to rename it to options button. So what I want to do is I want to move this. I want it to be above exit. So I'm going to grab it and I'm going to drop it there. Then I'm going to grab the exit button and I'm going to drop it down to here. So now we've got the play button, a spacer, options button, spacer, and then exit. And we can actually do some functionality with it later, but let's click back on the vertical box one more time, and I'm going to shrink it down some because I like a little bit smaller buttons. There. We're going to hit compile and save. Now, when we hit the play button, it's actually telling it to go to another menu that's going to be here. Take a look at the graph. The only thing we have there is on the event construct is showing the mouse cursor. When you click the play button, it removes that from the parent and it creates a new widget, the save menu. And when you hit the exit button, okay, cool. So technically speaking, by going with the way this one's working, I'm going to drag this over to here. It's telling it to get rid of the main menu widget and create a new the save menu, which is this one, where you have new, load, and delete, and the back button. I don't know about you guys, but I don't like the back button to be separate. So what I want to do is I'm going to grab that back button, and I'm going to, for now, just drag it to right here and change the anchor to center, because the vertical box should also be anchored to the center, and it is. So now that's just going to reorganize things. And if we want to stick with this same system right here, then essentially whenever we hit the options button, then we want to come down to on clicked or on pressed. Let's try on clicked, because that's what was going on here. And he had a remove from parent. Now there's other ways of doing this, but for now let's stick with what he's got going on. And we're going to Control C and Control V, connect this here, line it up, and we don't want to go to a save main menu. We want to, for now, right click, new widget. We're going to call this options menu underscore W, and there's nothing in it right now, so we're just going to go ahead and do something. Call that options, just a big text block. Throw that center, doesn't matter because we're going to come back in and do something else with this later. And then we want to have a back button, and we'll throw some text on it, and we'll call this back. Kind of a small button, but oh well. Again, doesn't matter. We're just making something temporary as a placeholder. Now, compile, save, and you look at how the back button was set up on here. Alright, back button. And we can just Control C on this. And we'll go ahead and do an on clicked. Connect that. Lovely. Compile, save, close that. Close all these down. Step 4, we want to change this over to the options menu. There we go. Compile, save. And let's go ahead and run this one more time. So we can see that we've made some minor modifications to the main menu, and what we're going to want to do is change the background image and a bunch of other stuff too. But there we go. Beefalopia, single player. We now have an options menu. Click on options. Lovely. Click back, and it all works. Awesome. All right. So we need a good background, but we're going to wait to create our background until we actually have our first map built, and we'll take a screenshot and convert that screenshot into the background image. So we'll click exit, and I think what we'll do is we'll call this video quits for right now, and we will actually come back in and I will go ahead and start working on a map, just a basic map. But there is one thing that I would like to add in right now so that we can have some other stuff to work with. And I'm going to click on Add New, come up to Add Features or Content Pack, and I want to come over here to Content Packs, Starter Content, and Add to Project. This is going to give you your starter content or your starter pack, which is going to give you some basic geometry stuff you can work with, some shapes, textures, sounds, and so forth. All right, and that is done. So just an example of why you would want this is we go in here to the testing map. We're going to go back into selected viewport so we can look around. And this is a bug that I noticed, and it leaves your weapons right there. Whenever you go into a regular play mode, you walk around, sometimes you have no weapons whatsoever, and then when you hit escape, there they are. Go into Standalone Game and let it manually load in this way. We haven't made anything changes wise to the main menu that would, or to anything in this game that would cause it to actually do that. But when I go into standalone, it seems to work just fine. Alright, so, but the point was, we're inside the map now, and you can see it pulled in from our save game. We already have the weapons, they're already there. So, and it really only does this once you've created a save game. So, if you keep having that issue and it bothers you, I'm sure you can go in and delete the save game file, but you can tell, well, it's kind of plain and boring. If you want to use this map and just build off of it, there's really nothing here. There's no textures to the ground, nothing. So we're going to go ahead and hit save and quit. And this is running through the save game here. So, yeah, that's kind of annoying to see the gun still hanging there. And it's added that to the map. So I actually have to delete that, and it'll think that I've made changes to the map. See, it wants me to save. But what we're going to do is we're going to come to our materials and ground grass. Left click on the ground out here. For right now, this is not the best way of doing landscape materials, but it'll add some looks to the game. The same with on this right here, we can go ahead and select the face. This is a BSP geometry. So it's using a world grid material, but I want to use the bricks. So I can come around here and select the faces and assign that brick texture to it. You can see there's a top rail up there as well, and that's cool. We can use that as a okay, we'll go ahead and take this wall and let's see what we can do with it. Yeah, that's fine. So we'll do the wall on that material. And what the heck, we'll do the top as well. We're just wanting to spruce this up just a little bit. And we can't forget the inside. Yeah, this is just to show you what you can do with cleaning up what you've got already here. And that wall's fine, that color. This top panel up here, what the heck, let's give it concrete tiles. Now you can also click on it and then control left click to select multiple faces. So you can do more than one at a time. Just have to be careful of where you're clicking so you don't accidentally click on something you don't want to texture. Alright, that looks better already. I'm sure we missed something here and there. And we'll go ahead and make this the... Well, we'll do that one. Alright, so that looks better already. And then we still have this little guy right here. It's actually... Interesting. Alright, so we'll just take that one and we'll throw... whatever, we'll do the concrete tiles on it as well. And just to be oddball, let's go ahead and change these two to the hex tile. There, we have something different. So, was it important? No, but what the heck. We did it anyway. So it adds a little color. But that was the whole point of adding in the starter pack. And another thing that I would say you could probably do is if you look in the audio folder, you have your starter background cue. It's going to add wind, birds, and some background stuff. There's a couple ways to do it. I'm actually going to come into the blueprint for the level. There's really nothing in here at all to mess with, but I'm going to add something. I'm going to go ahead and left click on it here, and then I'm going to come in here, right click, event, begin, play sound at location. Location doesn't really matter because it's going to cover everything. And I've already got that starter background cue selected. I'm going to leave all the other attenuation and everything else the same. We know that we mouse over it. We know that the duration is 10,000 seconds. If for some reason you're in here for more than 10,000 seconds, you want the audio to loop. So we're going to add a delay. And delay, we're going to 10,001 seconds, and then loop it back to here. Compile, save, close, play standalone. We'll take a look at it really quickly, and we'll call this video quits. And then in the next video, we'll go ahead and pick it up from there and start doing some more cool stuff. So let's take a look, see what we got. Again, takes a couple seconds, but there we go. For some reason, my weapon's highlighted. You see, we have some new textures. Everything's awesome. Listen, you can just hear the sound of the background noise. I don't think he liked that very much, did he? But there we go. Alright. We'll save and quit, and we'll save and quit this project, and we'll pick it up in the next video. Alrighty, thank you for watching.